So hey guys, it's Zion again. And there's a trend going around in the gaming industry recently, and it's called the cash grab. There are 3 of them that I can name right off the bat, one of which you're watching right now. Now, again, the PC doesn't have the downloadable camos yet that you can buy for, I don't know, like $2, I think it is. But that's a giant cash grab. Microtransactions are huge, but there's 2 games, 2 full DLC games that are basically cash grabs, one of which is actually a $50 game, and that is Sniper Elite Nazi Zombie Army and The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. Now, between the 2 of them, I think Nazi Zombie Army is the better of the 2 games, but only because the core game is actually passable. Walking Dead Survival Instinct is made by the company that made Blood Rain and Ghostbusters and some other really crappy crap. And then of course you have Call of Duty, which is just, let's release the same engine every year, add a few maps and some guns, maybe change the kill streaks, but we're good otherwise. And the cash grab is this really interesting concept because currently we're in the winter, spring release doldrums. It's not the holiday season where all the big shooters come out. It's not summer where you have the summer blockbuster movies and then games try to capitalize on that fervor as well. And there's really not much coming out. I mean, in previous years we've had games like Mass Effect, we've had Portal 2, we've had other games, and I know Bioshock Infinite is coming out soon, and I will probably be picking that up later because I don't have the money right now. But for the most part, there's nothing coming out, and so publishers need something to fill their publishing titles. So they come out with these 8-month to 6-month developed titles using engines that are 5 years old and development teams that are already overworked and are incredibly taxed. Because, as we all know, games are getting so much more expensive to develop for, so we have to make big blockbuster games. But more to the point, the cash grab for me isn't necessarily a bad thing. Games like Nazi Zombie Army, from what I've heard, while they're not standalone on their own, they're not going to win any contests as far as quality is concerned, they serve as a very nice segue between series. Crysis 3, while not precisely a cash grab on EA's part, and I think Crytek is quite invested in the series, had cash grab qualities to it, especially in the multiplayer. And I think that we as a gaming community, we need cash grabs. I don't think they should be quite as crappy as The Walking Dead Survival Instinct, that they should be made with some sense of pride in the work. But I think that you cannot build an entire company or community or business model on hit games. There's an article on The Escapist I'll link to that it discusses this exact thing, and it was written prior to Riccatello being fired. But the thing of it is, we need these games to hold us over. Because I know, at least for me, Black Ops 2 is getting a little boring. I've played the Revolution maps, but the Revolution playlist on PC is dead, at least when I'm playing. And Battlefield 3, like I mentioned in this is another commentary that's probably going up on the company channel, it's just endgame is team deathmatch for me. And that's not nearly enough to keep me going to Battlefield 4 this holiday season, so I'm going to be looking for other games. And I'm probably going to be putting up a lot of Let's Plays in the coming weeks. Now, again, I'm going to be putting up Call of Duty, Battlefield, and other of the games that I built my channel on, but right now there's just not a lot of multiplayer games that are capturing my attention. And I want to play some single-player games, because one of the things about single-player I love is that you can just sort of do whatever. There's not much bullshit that other players can do to you. And in a lot of cash grab games, there's not a lot of bullshit, because there's not a lot of time to put bullshit into games. Games like Survival Instinct, yeah, there's bullshit, but it's bullshit that's not created by other players. It's not you and 12 other people thinking, how can I best exploit these mechanics? It's some poor development team somewhere saying, oh, we have 8 months to make a full-bodied game. Well, might as well try. And when it's released, people say, oh, this was a cash grab. But my point here is that really such a bad thing? Yes, first of all, it is a bad thing if you're charging full price for a game that can take a minimum of 3 hours. That's not a $60 game, that's a $15 DLC at best. Nazi Zombie Army, some of the videos I've seen make me think that it's probably around an hour per level, and if there's only 3 or 4 levels in that game, then, you know, it's maybe 4 or 5 hours, and I think that's a good DLC. Revolution, for example, gave me about 10 good hours of gameplay, and I enjoyed it, and so the $15, while not well spent, was at least enjoyably spent. And at the end of the day, for me, a cash grab game should be a few things. One, it should not cost full price, even if the publisher thinks that they can make a quick buck, and they can. B, it should have between 4 and 10 hours of additional gameplay, or just total gameplay. And C, it should preferably be a single-player experience. Because if you have a cash grab with multiplayer, then not only is a single-player suffer because the team has to do 2 different modes, but the multiplayer is going to be crap. People are going to play it for a day, and you've just lost a whole bunch of additional cash on multiplayer development. Now, BioShock Infinite is not a cash grab. BioShock Infinite is a 4-year or more developed title by one of the most storied teams in the gaming industry, Irrational Games, System Shock 2, the original BioShock, Freedom Force, which unfortunately I never played. But Ken Levine and his team know what they're doing, and I trust them to make a very, very good game. And the timing of their game could not be better. To have a game in the doldrums that is incredibly high quality and that is completely single player is genius. But not every team in the gaming industry has the chops and the talent and the backing that Levine and Irrational does. So sometimes you have to have a cash grab. But if you're going to have a cash grab, at least make it worth the time and make it well priced.